We are moving on to Randall County Commissioner Precinct 4 in the Republican primary. There are 3 candidates, Tam Boatler, Michael D. Grady, and Melissa Jewett-Kulka. Melissa Kulka is not with us today. Each of you will have 1 minute to answer each of the questions. We will begin with Mr. Boatler. And the first question is simply, what training, experience, and background qualify you for this position?
Okay. My name is Tam Boatler, and I'm running for Randall County Commissioner number 4. And I was raised in Amarillo. I'm a longtime resident. I've been a Randall County resident for over 42 years. I've lived in the same house in Randall County for 40 years. I worked for the Amarillo Police Department for 42 years. And I promoted several times. When I retired, I was at the rank of captain. I ran 2 different divisions and did a lot of different management and supervision over that time. I also dealt with budgeting and planning and just about everything that a manager does. I've got pretty extensive management experience. I've got a degree from Wayland Baptist College in criminal justice, and I'm a strong conservative Republican. Been involved as a precinct chairman for over 10 years.
Thank you. Same question for you, Mr. Grady. What training, experience, and background qualifies you for this position?
Well, my name is Michael D. Grady, and I'm a lifelong conservative. I've lived inside of the 4th Commissioner Precinct for over 26 years as a former pastor, as a project manager for a roofing company, as well as assistant manager at gym and everything in between. I've been in positions of leadership, and when it comes to this position, what you'd say is a self-taught. I'm a self-taught person in this one. I've spent the last year of my life dedicated to being at Commissioner's Court, studying the fiscal budget, discussing things with department heads, and figuring out what we need and what we're able to do. And as a conservative, constitutional conservative, I know that there are certain things that we have to do to continue the growth that we have in Randall County, and to do it well and to manage our resources well while retaining excellent employees.
And Mr. Grady, you will start us off with this next question. Among other responsibilities, counties maintain roads and bridges in the unincorporated areas of the county, provide for a justice system and public safety, and hold elections for every level of office. Do you believe any of these areas of Randall County government need particular attention?
Well, I'd say that the main thing that needs attention is the safety of our residents. That would be the sheriff's office and the fire department. Both of those are needing desperate attention. The county is actually paying for it's almost $60,000 for a compensation survey. However, I have a plan that I've discussed with department heads as well as a CPA that will bring our first responder salaries into a competitive range that brings us in line with the city of Amarillo. It brings us in line with Potter County, with Hereford Police Department, Canyon Police Department, and Dumas Police Department, in a way that we don't lose those good employees. The 4th Commissioner Precinct is all inside of Amarillo when it comes to roads. There's one on the border of it that is just set up right up against it, but the majority of what we need is to take care of our employees, because we have excellent employees and we don't want to train people and send them off to other departments in other counties.
Turning to Mr. Boatler, same question. Among other responsibilities, counties maintain roads and bridges in unincorporated areas, provide for a justice system and public safety, and hold elections. Do you believe any of these areas of Randall County government need particular attention?
I do, and I agree with Mr. Grady. It would certainly be public safety would be the number one thing on my mind, and that's how I was employed and made a living for over 42 years. And right now, law enforcement is kind of going through a phase of sometimes negative press. And when I left, I was over recruitment. We were having a lot of trouble recruiting good employees. We used to give tests and we'd have 500 people show up. Now we're down to 150 to 200. So it's hard to get people to become police officers now. And I think with the same thing with the sheriff's department, we've got to maintain a good quality sheriff's department and keep that safety up. And we've got to take care certainly of the law enforcement employees, but along with the other employees. I would agree that that is a big thing and certainly something that needs to be focused on.
And you will take the first question, the next question first, Mr. Butler. Are there any issues you feel that Randall County should work cooperatively with Potter County and the cities of Amarillo and Canyon? And if so, what would you personally do to ensure that cooperation?
Well, having worked for the city for 42 years, I think there is very good cooperation between all of the cities and both, or the city of Amarillo and both counties. And I know that if we had a law enforcement event, we were always able to help each other and use our resources, our personnel. I think that we have a very good relationship. I'd like to maintain that relationship. I think economic development would be a big thing that all two counties and that the city of Amarillo could focus on and maybe bring more things into the county. And they're doing a good job. I'm certainly not saying anything negative about what's going on now, but I think that the focus has been maybe within the city, and there's a lot of land in Randall County, a lot of resources that could be used, water, utilities, things like that, that maybe that needs to be focused on a little bit more.
Mr. Grady, are there any issues you feel Randall County should work cooperatively with Potter County and Amarillo and Canyon? And if so, what would you do personally to ensure that?
So the current commissioner's court is actually in discussions with the city of Canyon for a TERS, a tax incentivized redevelopment zone. That is just like some of the ones that Amarillo has already done. But what this does is it is to reinvest in the square in Canyon. Whenever I tell people that decisions today in commissioner's court affect how I can retire, this is what I'm talking about. That TERS is set up for a 25-year setup. And so that's something that we actually have to take very close look at. It's a great idea. And if it bodes well for the city of Canyon, there's already discussions of moving over into South Amarillo to work alongside the city of Amarillo to do that same thing in a couple different areas. And I know that because I've been at commissioner's court. And so what we have to do is we have to steward well to give a vision of continued growth.
We are now joined by Randall County Commissioner Precinct 4 Republican primary candidate Melissa Jewett-Kulka. Ms. Kulka, what training experience and background qualify you for this position?
Well, I have a varied background. I have worked and run my family's small business, so I know the problems with small business owners with making payroll and keeping taxes low. I've worked for the WT Enterprise Center with knowing how to attract large and small businesses. I have also worked for Congressman Mac Thornberry with constituent services, made a lot of good contacts there and listened to constituents. And I worked for an oil company for 18 years and as a senior buyer where I had to manage budgets and did purchasing in the millions of dollars. So I feel like I would be good at working on the Randall County annual budget. And so I feel like my background gives me a lot of variety in different areas that would make me a good candidate and a good commissioner for Randall County.
Among other responsibilities, counties maintain roads and bridges in the unincorporated areas, provide for a justice system and public safety, and hold elections for every level of office. Do you believe any of these areas of Randall County government need particular attention?
Well, one thing about this precinct, it's sort of landlocked. So in this precinct, we don't have any county roads or fire departments or anything, but I feel like those people, the sheriff's department and firemen, we need to continually keep them where they have equipment they need and keep our roads in good condition. So even though it might not be in my precinct, I think that that's a definite thing for the county. And we need to be able to handle some of the exponential growth in Randall County with keeping our roads in good shape and keeping all of our facilities in good condition, and doing whatever we can to meet the needs of the citizens in the county.
And the final question, are there any issues on which Randall County should work cooperatively with Potter County in the cities of Amarillo and Canyon? If so, what would you do personally to ensure that cooperation?
Well, I think that we are, with being in such close proximity to each other, we always need to work together. I know that there's maybe some ways, like Randall County, in the city of Canyon particularly, that there's no real low-income housing, maybe affordable housing for citizens. And maybe we need to listen to the city of Amarillo and Potter County and see how we can work together to do some of those things for both counties. I think anytime you can work together with other citizens, that it's always a good thing, and we can learn from each other and figure out some of the needs to help make our area a better place to live and raise a family in general. So yes, I'm certainly for working together and doing everything we can to maintain and keep everything a good place to live, and to keep our budget and keep the county financially sound.